My experience with our defense systems is that we'll back off out of something if it gets too intense. So we don't usually have to worry about that. If something's too much, we'll just back off. Sometimes we'll dissociate, we'll start thinking about other things, or we'll get bored, or we'll fall asleep even. Do it however it works for you is fine. There really is no right or wrong way to do inquiry or to be present with ourselves. So let's take a moment before we actually get into things and check back into the body and notice what's happening with your breath. It's very common for our defense mechanisms to have an activation in the whole back of our body when we're scared or anxious about something. Back of the neck, the back of the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades. It can feel like the muscles are tight, and it can also feel like there's some kind of energy back there. So that would be understandable, given what we've been talking about, if that's going on in your body. We're really not looking to change anything. We're more noticing what it is that's present and then allowing that to be in our attention. And that doesn't mean that we enjoy having a tight body, or some of the sensations can actually be quite intense or painful. But we're really trying to observe them and take that perspective of more of a witness or of an observer to whatever it is that's happening. One way to reduce the intensity can be to get up and move around. Another way can be just to open your eyes. When you're looking at words or images, if you have your eyes open, you can put them on a wall or a window. That's one way that we can notice that there's space in between us and them, that we're not actually experiencing something else. We're looking at a series of images. We might be hearing words. So as we go through, if things are getting too intense, just remember to take a few deep breaths, open your eyes, get up and move around if you want, turn the sound off if you want. Just whatever you need to do to take care of yourself is absolutely fine. With your attention in your body, notice the space that your body is in and notice what's happening in that space. So when we notice the space from head to toes, that's kind of a larger space. We can also notice the space that our head is in. And in that space, we'll probably notice some sense perceptions. There's the feeling of the cool air as we breathe in through the nose. And the air as it's exhaled is a little bit warmer. We might notice the forehead softens a bit when we bring our attention there. Also very common to have pain in the head area. So if that's happening, just to notice that. And coming down through the neck and the shoulders. We checked in with the body a little while ago, and check in with it again. Notice what's changed, what's the same. Any sensation in the muscles or in the interior space of the torso, behind the chest, the stomach. And notice as well the arms and the hands, the legs and the feet. And then bring to mind something that you were thinking about earlier, or you were talking about earlier around being triggered. And it can be something that's maybe not the most triggering, but pick something that has a little bit of charge to it that you could work with for 10 or 15 minutes. And notice that when we bring up a memory or a thought, that we might have words with that, and we probably have some kind of image. The image could be a memory, or it could be something we're projecting that might happen. Either way, it's probably coming in as some kind of an image. It could be a still photo, it could be a video. And notice that when we see images, if we have our eyes closed, we see them kind of from behind the forehead. That's where thought appears. And we can see images in our mind's eye, as we say. And notice what's in the picture or the image. If you want to have your eyes open, that's absolutely fine. You can have your eyes open, put the image up on a wall or the window. And there's some reason that this image came into your mind. It might have words with it as well. It probably has something to do with this whole question of being triggered. In particular, we're talking about being triggered by other people, by things that people do or don't do. And notice if there's any words. I hate being patronized. That person doesn't even see me. Whatever the words might be, notice if there's words that come up with the image. And it can be helpful to hear the words, but it also can be helpful to put them like they're on a blank piece of paper or poster board or something. And have a look at the letters. Letters come in shapes and fonts and colors. Letters that are blocky and black and big can seem menacing, and letters that are rainbow colors and kind of light and might be dancing on the page don't seem so threatening. So notice the details of how those words are showing up. I'm triggered by, and then take a moment to look at the words and any images that are coming up. Notice your breath, continue to notice your body. Notice there might be other words, other images come up. It's fine to change what you're paying attention to. But if it feels like they're all kind of related, you could even put them all up like a collage, looking at a number of pictures, images. Paying attention to how that is that it shows up. And notice what's happening in your body as you're looking at that and paying attention to what's coming up around being triggered. Notice if there's sensation in your body, something's changed from when you were paying attention a moment ago. Notice where it is, what it feels like. And we're going to come back to that in a moment. Just notice that our bodies and energy in the body shifts. It never really stays exactly the same. Take a few deep breaths. See if you can allow your body to relax. And then bring your attention back again to the image and to the words. It might be like caption on an image, something like that. Or there might be several images, however it is that it's showing up. And notice as you're looking at images, if it feels like you're right in the picture, like you're looking out from your own eyes. And if that's the case, see if you can take a step back so that you can put yourself in the picture, so you can see yourself in the picture as well as whoever else is in there. And notice what you look like, notice what age you are, what you've got your hair done like, if there's an expression on your face or on other people's faces, what you're wearing, what's in the room. Notice those kinds of details, whatever it is that you're looking at. And notice that you're looking at an image. Images are made up of shapes and colors. And then the mind, the brain, makes meaning of those. So all we can really do with images is look at them. Notice shapes and colors and words, meanings. That the image itself doesn't feel anything. That's something that's happening as we look at it perhaps, but the image itself doesn't feel. And then see if you can put a frame around that image. So if it's a big poster board, for instance, notice that you can see the edges of the board. There's content in the middle of it, images and words. And we're going to try for a moment to just look now at the space all around the images or the words. So if it's words, put them up as though they're printed out somehow. Could be one main thing you're looking at or a whole bunch. And now don't look anymore at the images or words. Look at just the space on the outside and see if you can bring your eyes to the top middle of the space above it and then come to the right. Take your eyes clockwise around the space outside of the image and words. You're down to the side, around on the bottom, back up the other side. Take your time with it. Go around clockwise 2 or 3 times, just the space. And then take your eyes around at the other direction. No need to look at what's inside. We're just looking at the space on the outside. Take a deep breath, relax your body, and then bring your attention to what's on the inside of that frame again, the inside of that space. And notice now what the picture looks like or the words. Notice if it's changed, if it feels kind of the same. And then tune into the space of your body and notice what's happening in your body right now. There's this space that has something in there about I'm triggered by. It might be images as well as words. Notice what's happening as you're looking at that now, and notice that this is something that you're observing. When we have associations with something, it can feel charged or triggered. Take a few deep breaths. Notice that whatever it is you're looking at isn't actually happening right now. If it's a memory from the past, it's in the past. If it's something about the future, it hasn't happened. It's something that the mind is projecting into the future. And that right now, in this moment, you're looking at words or pictures that are related to something that triggers you. Those words or pictures might be generating some kind of response in your body. And then let your attention be drawn towards whatever sensation feels like it wants your attention. Could be anywhere in your body. Your head or somewhere in your throat, maybe your chest, your heart, your back. Let your attention go where it's being drawn. And now let go of the image, let go of the words, and bring your attention into that sensation, and in particular into the space where that sensation is arising. So if it's a sensation in your stomach area, for instance, we're aware through our sense perceptions where our stomachs are. There's the movement of the body with the breath. You might feel your clothes. We know that's part of our system. We know how we're located, where we're located. And so bring your attention into that space. And notice that there's a sensation in the space. And describe to yourself that sensation. So we're letting go of words and images right now. We're just really focusing in a wordless kind of a way on the sensation or energy that's somewhere in your body. Notice if it has a color, if it has a shape. Sometimes we have images of the sensation. Might look like a black hole or a fist or something else. If you have an image, just notice that there's an image present, and then bring your attention back into the sensation. And as you're noticing the sensation, notice just the qualities of the sensation, hot or cold, if it's still or if it's moving, if there's pressure, if it has well-defined edges or if it just seems to drift off. Pay attention to the sensation, the attributes of the sensation. Noticing in detail what it feels like. Notice if it's easy or hard. It might be difficult to stay with that sensation. Wouldn't be surprising if that was the case. And notice while you're paying this kind of attention to that sensation, notice if there's any feeling of malevolence or intention to hurt you. Sometimes when we have intense or painful sensations, we have an automatic association of there's something wrong, it's going to hurt me. So really focus in on that and notice if that's the case. Why is this sensation here? You could put your attention right into the very center of that space where the sensation is. And so you're looking at the world and your experience from the inside of that sensation. And if there are words or images coming up now, allow them to be here. We're not trying to figure anything out in the inquiry. We're really just looking and watching what comes up. We could have an openness or curiosity to let that sensation know we would like to know more about it. We'd like to know why it's here. Why has this particular association shown up as we're doing this inquiry? And then observing, not trying to figure anything out, just looking to see what comes up as we're sitting with the sensation. Remember to breathe, to notice the support of your chair. Notice if it's possible to be open to just sitting with the sensation, being curious as to why it's here. And if words or images come up, do what we did before. Notice that what you're seeing is an image, or you might be hearing words. You can do the same thing with them if they seem kind of sticky. You can have a look at them. You can take that step back so you can see yourself in the picture. You can put a frame around it, trace the space outside. And it's natural to get caught up in a train of thought at times. If that happens, just bring your perspective back. We're sitting and looking at words and images that might be arising out of this sensation. We let them be seen, And we focus again on the sensation. Notice if there's anything that sensation has to say, or maybe it's something it needs to hear. Continue to attend to the sensation, to the experience. We're going to go for another couple of minutes of really focusing in on that sensation, noticing any words or images. You can always come back to it later. Notice your experience, if you feel safe paying attention to the sensation, if it's okay that it's here. And take a minute to finish whatever it is that you're observing. Noticing your whole body and your breath. Notice what's going on in your thoughts. And whatever it is that's arising and however it is that this experience happened. See if you can extend some kindness and compassion to yourself. A recognition that it takes courage to do this. Notice your whole body again, your breath. Open your eyes, look around the room.